everybody. Everybody, I'm back. Everybody, Gina Young is back, and I'm back with yet another amazing recipe. I am so excited yet another day because today at the Young's house, Gina Young is going to share with you all how easy it is to make a delicious garlic butter fried pork chop. This pork chop right here, the flavor is out of sight. So easy to make, doesn't require a lot of ingredients, and you know, make it Gina Young style, it's going to be so tasty. Y'all never had my garlic butter fried pork chop before? Better make you some. Here are the lovely ingredients you're gonna need. You're gonna need some pork chops, and I want you all to take a look at just how beautiful these pork chops are. So we've washed off our pork chops with lime juice, salt, and cold water. Then we've pat them dry with a paper towel. Of course, you're gonna need some garlic, and I highly suggest using fresh garlic, okay? So then our spices are going to be salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, parsley flakes, and butter, and we are going to be using some vegetable oil. Now, alongside of our garlic butter fried pork chops, we're going to have some baked sweet potatoes, and we're going to season them with the Kerrygold sweet cream butter, a little bit of cinnamon, and some brown sugar. You can see the brown sugar we have here. And what we have here is a little bit of parsley and a tiny bit of cilantro. And I'm going to show you something really interesting that we're going to do with that. Listen here. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this really quick and simple, yet so tasty recipe, Gina Young style. Okay, everyone, so the first thing that we're going to do today is I want to take the side of my knife, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to knock that garlic just like so, okay, and what that does is it really helps to take the skin off. See how quickly the skin come off? Otherwise, you're going to be peeling for days trying to get the skin off if you don't do that technique. Me personally, let me know in the comment section below. I am not a fan of the garlic that comes in a jar. I know it's real garlic. I do know it's real garlic, but it tastes disgusting. I'm not a fan of the garlic that comes pre-sliced. I think it's just a lazy way out, you know? Like peel the garlic and use fresh garlic. But this is the kind of garlic, I don't mind peeling garlic. Really, I don't. Okay, and then I love garlic powder. Garlic powder gives amazing flavor as well. For those of you that don't want to use like a fresh garlic or you don't have the time to chop it, you know. Okay, so what I've done was we've taken the skin off, and then what I want to do is I just want to make just a couple of slivers, okay? Because what we're going to do with this is we're going to flavor the oil that we cook our pork chops in. And really what we're going to be doing is we're going to make like a garlic infused oil so we can make these things taste good. We want that garlic flavor. That's why they are called garlic, listen here, garlic butter fried pork chops. Okay, so now these here are going to go. Let's take a peek in over at the pan, and you can see in the pan that honestly I don't have a lot of oil. We're going to throw those whole pieces in there just like that, and you can use more garlic if you want. You can get the gist of how much oil I'm using. It's not a whole lot. We're not deep frying these, but we're still going to get a nice fry onto them with the little bit of oil that we're using. This pan is not turned on. Okay, so what I want to do next is let's go ahead and make sure you wash off your chops. And then we're going to season them up really good. You hear me? And when I say season them really good, you know, like don't be shy with the spices. You do have to always watch how much salt you put into things, you know. But I'm using a sea salt today, and I'm just going to go in just like so in this manner. And today I'm going to be seasoning both sides. A lot of times when I have a meat that is thin, you'll see me season one side, because if the meat is thin, you only need to season one side, okay? But since these are nice thick pork chops, we're going to season both sides. We're going in with that onion powder. Onion powder gives anything amazing flavor. You hear me? Absolutely it does. Listen here, I hope you all are having an amazing day today. Let me know in the comment section below if you've heard of anything like this. These pork chops are out of sight, so easy to make. And like I said, doesn't require a lot of ingredients. Anybody you feed it to, they go nuts over the recipe because it's beautiful, it's delicious, and it's packed with flavor. Okay, so I always like to use the dried parsley flakes because it's gonna give a beautiful color anytime. And it doesn't give you any flavor when you use the dried parsley. I just like the color. Now we're gonna put some pepper in. You need that pepper. You could even put a little bit of sazon on here if you like. Okay, so now what I want to do is let's go ahead and flip them over just like so in this manner. Beautiful, it smells so good already. And what I like to do, anytime I take my meats out of the refrigerator, I like to let them come up to a room temperature and then cook them. Because if you cook them while they're freezing cold, when they cook, they're gonna cook dry. You know, we're not cooking any dried meats in this kitchen. So what you do, when you take it out of the refrigerator, like I said, let it hang out for just a little bit. Let it come up to room temperature, and then you cook it, and you're going to have some of the most delicious meat you've ever cooked. All right, so once again, with the onion and garlic, parsley flakes, and black pepper, when I come back, I'll show you what we're going to do next. It gets interesting. Okay, everyone, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to prepare our sweet potatoes. Now you could use a yam if you like, okay? What I like to do is always make sure you wash them off with cold water and then give them a nice dry with a paper towel. Then I like to go in, and this is with my regular potatoes as well. We are going to kind of take a fork and go into the potato just like so on both sides. You know, maybe 3 or 4 times on both sides. So when your potato goes into the microwave or when it goes into the oven, it doesn't burst open, because so much, you know, it will get so hot, it will burst open if you didn't give it any vent holes. And that's what we're doing right now. So now that we've achieved this, what we're going to do next is I like to go in with a little bit of oil. Any type of oil that you have, you can rub these babies down just like so. And here's what I'm going to do. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm throwing them in the microwave. When I make a baked sweet potato, I make them in the microwave. I turn that baby on 9 minutes, and guess what? They turn out delicious. The skin turns out crispy. I mean, like, and it's perfect in the inside. It's always light and airy and fluffy, and I love it. You know, like if I had a day where I had time, of course I would put it into the oven. But you mean to tell me I can cook it in 9 minutes and it's going to be perfect? That's what we're going to do. That's for me. Okay, so now we got all our holes in just like so. Next thing that I want to do is I'm going to take some olive oil. Any kind of oil you have. You got canola oil, you got vegetable oil, you can use that. Let me take my rings off here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of oil in my hands. And I like to rub it down just like so in this manner. Okay. All right. And if you're going to then take yours and put it into the oven, then what you're going to do is you're going to take some aluminum foil and you're going to wrap these, throw them in the oven, 350 degrees for 1 hour. Now, since we're not going into the oven, they don't need to get wrapped. And you know you can't put aluminum foil in there anyways, you know. So I like to set them in the microwave like this. They kind of look like a star in the microwave, and you know they turn around. And half the way through the cooking process, I turn them over like this. And when they're done, they're done. You'll be able to stick a fork in them and they will be fork tender, okay? And then when they come out, if everybody's not ready to eat, what I do like to do is I like to put foil on them after they're done to keep them nice and hot. And you know, that trick really works. Okay, so now that I have everything nice and coated just like so, the next thing that I like to do, oh, look at this. I have a really good picture. I'm really close. Okay, so now what I like to do next is I like to put salt on. You can put pepper on as well. I don't know about you all, but the skin, it has nutrients, and I love the taste of baked potato skin. So I like to season it. Okay, we give it some flavor here. Now you can skip this part if you want to, but I don't suggest it, you know. All right, so now we get this in the oven, and like I said, place it strategically just like so, and it'll circle, it'll get done. You turn it half the way. Now, if we make our way over this way, you will see, and you might be able to hear that garlic has started to cook. okay? And it's letting off amazing flavor, garlic flavor into that oil. Like I said, what we're aiming for is a garlic flavored infused oil. So I'm gonna get these in the microwave. I'm gonna come back and show you what we're gonna do next. Now, there's something that I like to remind everybody about when you are cooking pork chops. When you're cooking pork chops naturally, if they're laying flat, they will do a number like this and kind of puff up in the pan if you don't give it a nice slit. Give it a nice cut, and what I like to do is cut just one little area, you know, where that fat is right there, because what happens is once the pork chop starts to heat up, that fat starts to shrink, and it makes your pork chop shrivel up, you know, or kind of go this way instead of laying flat. So if you do this, this will prevent that. Now, there has been times, I know somebody's going to say, I've tried it before and it's still puffed up. Well, you might need to cut it in another area, you know, but more than anything, this typically works. Okay, see that there? Let's go ahead and get these into the pan. Come on with me, camera. We got a hot pan. We got garlic infused oil, and we're cooking this on a medium heat. I wouldn't go high because the high heat is going to make your pork chop done on the outside and raw on the inside. See that there? There's another slit. Okay. Perfect. Looks like I'll be able to fit 3 pork chops in the pan. And what you're going to do is literally put them in the pan, and guess what? Leave them alone. We want them to form a gorgeous crispiness on the outside, a crust, so to speak, and a nice sear on each side of the pork chop, and that will naturally happen. And when it's time to turn the pork chop over, guess what's going to happen? It's gonna come off of the pan really easily, because like right now, if you try to mess with it, it's going to stick to the pan because it hasn't formed that crust that we're looking for. But once that crust is formed, you'll be able to see a nice, beautiful golden brown ring towards the bottom. That's your indication to go ahead and give it a turn over. I am so excited. I'm going to be right back because we're going to make an amazing garlic butter sauce that has so much flavor when I come back. So I've already turned our sweet potatoes over one time because they have cooked half of the way. We got some amazing smells going on. Just going to let it be. Don't bother it. Let's get started on, it's kind of like a compost butter that we're making. Now, when you make this, I do not suggest, listen closely, don't use a fresh garlic in your compost butter, okay? So, but we are going to use garlic powder in it, but not fresh garlic. We're going to use 1 full stick of sweet cream butter, all right? We are going to use a tiny bit of cilantro, and also we're going to use fresh parsley. Those of you, there are a lot of people that are really not fans of cilantro, and if you're that person, guess what? You don't have to use it, okay? So now I'm going to go in right away and start to chop up my fresh parsley. All right, that little tiny bit, and you can see it's only a tiny bit. That little bit of cilantro that's in there is going to bring a really great brightness to the whole everything. My goodness, listen here. Oh, I'm so excited. I am smiling. I tell you what, guys, I am so excited about this channel, and I am so grateful that I can come on here and be able to share my gifts that God has given me. You know, share it with the world. I love sharing my recipes, and anytime I get a chance to make a video, like I go to sleep. I said this like a week and a half ago. I go to sleep writing down videos or writing down requests that you all have requested, and writing my grocery list, and just can't wait to wake up in the morning and give you guys another video. Like, even if I'm doing a video like this, I'm still having the time of my life. Like today, I just didn't feel like getting dressed, but that's not going to stop me from, you know what I mean? That's not going to stop me from doing what I love. If you don't feel like getting dressed, well, just do a video this way. Okay, so here's how it is done. 1 stick of butter, any kind of butter you love. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you guys use a margarine, it's okay. You know, go ahead and use it. All right, now, of course, we're not going to use all of this, but when I make a compost butter, I like to make a little extra because we will use it like the next morning, maybe like on top of our or eggs or something like that, or throw it in with your ramen noodles. Like, there's so many different things that you could use a compost butter with, okay? And this is nice and savory. You can also make a compost butter by putting some brown sugar and some cinnamon and throwing it on top of some pancakes. Like put flavors together and have fun in your kitchen, you know? All right, so that was black pepper. We're gonna go in with some onion powder. That's gonna give great flavor. And we are gonna use some salt, just a little tiny bit. Okay, now this here is the garlic powder, and I'm gonna put a nice amount, okay? Don't be afraid to season. There's a lot of people that are afraid to season, and then they ask me, Gina, but it didn't have any flavor. And I say, well, you didn't season it enough. You know, but honestly, it's true. You have to not be afraid to season your foods. So now we're gonna go in with this soft spatula, and we're gonna get everything well incorporated just like so, and I'll be right back. Okay, so with your compost butter, I want you to give it a nice taste to see if you're happy with the flavor, okay? I'm going in. That's all I need. Now you might wonder what that is. It's just some extra, herbs that I had, and I can just use it for a garnish, so I just threw it in a bowl. But this is it, okay? I'm gonna put this in a refrigerator so it can stay nice and cold. Meanwhile, when I come back, we're gonna check in on these babies, get them nice and flipped over. Come with me, camera. Oh yeah. We have one of our pork chops that is definitely ready to turn over. Oh, listen here. Girl, you ain't never lied. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna help you all cook. I'm gonna show you how to make it the right way. Gina Young Style. Oh, listen here. I am so happy with this amazing flavor. Almost looks like a ribeye steak in there. And you can literally see the flavor just shining through these pork chops. My goodness, take a look at that. Okay, so our sweet potatoes are out of the microwave. And now what I like to do right away is go ahead and season them with cinnamon. Oh my goodness, like just the cinnamon alone is delicious. You can put a little bit of salt in there, but I feel like you really don't have to. The reason why is because if you're like me and you like to eat that skin, keep in mind that we salted the skin. Okay, and so now we're gonna go in with brown sugar and just start off with a little bit. And if your loved ones want more brown sugar, guess what? They can put their own on, okay? Give everybody a nice amount, but not too much. Don't get crazy with it because this is a sweet potato and it's already sweet, okay? And so now we're gonna put a nice tad of butter onto each one and let it get nice and melty. And when I come back, we're gonna get these pork chops out of this pan. Listen here, everybody. If y'all enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell your family and friends and everyone you know. Tell the whole world about Gina Young, what I'm doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Be right back. Look at this. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this beautiful meal that we received today. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Thank you, Lord. And now, for the finishing touch, you put that garlic herb butter right on top and you let it melt. Amen once again to my beautiful prayer. I'm just going to bring it up to you guys. Take a bite. Let me know what y'all think about this recipe. Let me come down so y'all can see it. And as always, God bless you all. Thank y'all for watching. Good night.